So thank you everybody for joining us this morning. My name is Shubra. I'm the sales director with ANZCRO UK, and welcome to this month's big Kiwi sale. So I'll be telling you a little bit more what is entailed of it. However, we're going to be doing a series of webinars. Our first today is by a fantastic supplier of ours that we work very closely with, which is THL Motorhomes. You'll be hearing so much about the adventures that you can have around New Zealand when you do a motorhome holiday. And I would like to introduce Deb, who represents them, to tell you a little bit more about them.
Wonderful. So hi everyone, my name's Debs, and today I'm going to take you through the world of motorhomes in Australia and New Zealand. So THL, we are a global rental company. This is where we operate. So Australia and New Zealand, which of course are our topics today. We also operate in the USA, in Canada, and here in the UK and Ireland. So if you're ever after a little trip yourself, a little bit more local, we also operate here as well. So a little bit of how THL works is that we do manufacture our own vehicles. So we've got our big factories based in Melbourne, in Brisbane, and in Hamilton. So we manufacture our own vehicles, which then go into our rental fleet, and then we rent them. That's the part of the business that obviously you and I are involved in. And then we have our dealerships that then sell the vehicles at the end of the rental life. Now, the great thing about us having our own factories is that the feedback that we get from our customers, and they're generally very vocal about what they do and don't like about the vehicles, is that we feed that straight back into our design team. So the vehicles are constantly being reviewed and updated as they come out of the factories. So the brands that we operate, so THL is the global umbrella company, but the brands that yourself and your customers will see are Maui and Apollo and Brits. Maui is our premium brand, so the vehicles on this fleet are all under 2 years in Australia, 2.5 years in New Zealand. And you also have the option with Maui where you can guarantee a vehicle under 12 months old for your customers. So that's called Maui Elite, and the team at ANZCRO will be able to guarantee that for you if that's what your customers are looking for. All the vehicles on the Maui fleet all have toilet and shower on board, and that's probably one of the first conversations you'll have with your customers is they'll say, oh, we definitely want a toilet and shower. Then we have our Apollo brand, and Apollo is our flagship brand. This is we hold a big number of vehicles, so anything from the small compact 2-wheel drives, we've got 4-wheel drives on there, everything is sitting in that Apollo fleet. With Apollo, they are from new up to 4 years old in Australia and up to 5 years old in New Zealand. Then we have a Brits fleet, which is our adventure brand. It has all the compact 2-wheel drives, all the 4-wheel drives sitting in there, and we've got some really cool Italian-built vehicles in the Brits fleet as well. We also have our value brands. These ones here to make sure that you don't lose a customer if the headline brands don't fit their budget. So we've got our Mighty, Cheaper and Hippie sitting in there in case you are looking for something in a little bit that's going to fit into a lower budget. They'll sit in there. And of course, the vehicles are then a little bit older. In New Zealand, we have our 3 locations. They can pick up and drop off at any of the locations, so one-way rentals are available. They take the vehicle on the ferry between North and South Island. So unlike car hire, for anyone used to selling New Zealand, they do take the vehicle with them. They do make the vehicles their home. It would be hate to see them trying to pack it up to cross on the ferry. So in Auckland and in Christchurch, we have the shuttle bus that go between the airport and the branch all day. In Queenstown, it's very close to the airport. They can sort of see it really from the airport terminal. Then we have Australia, and in Australia we have the 10 branch locations, and again they can do one-way rentals between all of the locations here. So some top tips for both Australia actually and New Zealand is that in Australia we often get vehicles stuck in cans, so you'll often see discounts from us for getting vehicles out of Cairns to any of the other locations, and that usually happens around about May, June time. Then in New Zealand, it's Christchurch. So a lot of people tend to do an Auckland to Christchurch. If you can switch them around the other way, then it's often a good 10% cheaper for them to do a Christchurch to Auckland. So just a top tip to keep in mind. So camping in Australia and New Zealand is really easy. And this is, I think, what makes our products such a success in both of our countries, is that Australians and New Zealanders love to camp. So the network of campsites is everywhere. There are so many campsites for people to stay in, and they are great quality. So we're talking, obviously they have toilet and shower blocks and the kitchens, but they'll have laundries and playgrounds. And in Australia, most or many will have swimming pools as well. So in some ways, the campsites are like little resorts, or in themselves, they're like destinations in themselves. They're really amazing quality. And then in terms of locations, they are in the locations that you really want to be. So whether that's beachfront or within the national parks, they are in such great locations that they are great places to base yourself. The campsites are everywhere. There are so many campsites that they don't really need to book them in advance. The only time I say, yes, book them in advance would be that over Christmas and New Year. And that's just simply because most people have somewhere particular that they want to be over that time. But outside of that, they can just be booking them as they travel. And then it gives them that sort of flexibility to make the holiday up as they go. We have a wonderful app, which is the THL Road Trip app. So this here will support your customers in their planning. So to begin with, it has a journey planning tool in there, and this is brilliant for their planning from home, because once you get used to selling a motorhome, it can become a really quick and easy sell because you are not doing that day-to-day route planning for them. However, we want to hold them in that space of doing their planning. So make sure that your customers and yourself download the THL Road Trip app. This journey planning tool uses Google Maps technology to find activities and attractions and petrol stations, supermarkets, but then it also has the campsite booking engine in there. So they can be booking their campsites from home, or they can be booking them as they travel. So it's a really great tool. Then it also, the app has these show through videos on there as well. So if they make a booking, they can put their reference number in there and it'll pull through the information about their particular vehicle themselves. So they can watch their show through video, which is really fun. It's with my colleague Tim. He takes them around, shows them, and it starts getting them head around sort of gas stoves and chemical toilets, etc., and get them excited about what it's going to look like when they do this holiday. And then the app also provides their on-road support. So when they are on the road with us, it has these really handy how-to videos in there. So when they are traveling, and usually happens within the first couple of days, they're like, oh, I know that they told us about the drop-down bed, but how do we do it? They can just have a quick look at this 1-minute video and it'll take them through it as well. We do also have our on-road support team who are based in the office. So if they do want to call us, there is a team there to support them at any time as well. But highly recommend that everyone downloads the THL Road Trip app. Don't have to be a customer, but it's a really good place to start to think about, okay, how am I going to do this? A top tip for when you're talking about a motorhome holiday is get your customers to download it and then filter by campsites. And once they see that sea of campsites, there's just dots of campsites everywhere, it really does give them that confidence that, wow, there's a lot of places to stay and they're in exactly the locations that we want to be in as well. So yeah, definitely use the THL Road Trip app. We've built this for you and for your customers. So then included with all the rentals, we add in everything that they need. So they get unlimited kilometres, they get their kitchen kit, so it's set out like an apartment with everything they would need for cooking. All their bedding, towel sheets, pillows, duvets, etc. They don't have to bring anything special or anything extra with them. We provide everything that they need in the vehicle for them. Then we also have the value pack, and the team at ANZCRO are fantastic at supporting you in what your customers are going to need on the any extra items. The big one on this is the value pack, which includes a nil liability on the vehicle. Now, when they're driving a big vehicle in a foreign country, this is a big one. It really is that peace of mind travel. So it includes a nil excess on the vehicle, unlimited windscreen tyre coverage, overhead and underbody damage, and then all the sort of extras that they might want to have, like camping picnic table and chairs for outside, baby seats or booster seats if they need it, extra drivers, etc. So the team at ANZCRO will generally add this on for you on every booking anyway, but do watch out for it because it does make it a nice inclusive package. We've got some great ways for you to save. So we have discounts out throughout the year. So we have our long hire discounts for anyone that's traveling for 21 days or over. As I mentioned earlier, we've got the directional offers as well. So Christchurch going north, Cairns out, and then we have anyone who's wanting to do Darwin, Alice or Broome, we actually close those locations over the wet season. So we have amazing deals in November when we're moving all the vehicles out, and then again in March when we move all the vehicles back in. So watch out for those ones as well. We've got early bird offers that usually come out sort of at the start of the year, and right now we have a wonderful offer with ANZCRO that's exclusive to ANZCRO at the moment, and that's as part of the big Kiwi sale. So that's 10% off the nightly rate on all of our vehicles and all of our brands. So watch out for that one as well. Make sure you get those ones booked in within the next month. Just briefly on our sustainability, THL is very open and very transparent about our sustainability goals. I think it's really brave for a company that owns about 5,000 diesel vehicles worldwide, but it's something that we're very, very open and very transparent on what our goals are and how we're working towards those. So if any of your customers are making decisions around sustainable companies, do please send them to thlsustainability.com. It is constantly being kept up to date, and they can see exactly the steps that we're taking to make sure that our business is looking after the land and our people for the future. Yeah. So then I'm going to briefly go through some of the vehicles. We've got a lot of vehicles, so I'm just going to show you a few of them. So if we have a quick look at the Maui fleet, as I mentioned earlier, the Maui vehicles all have toilet and shower on board. So we'll start off with the Ultima, which is a 2-berth, the Ultima Plus, which is, we call it a 2+1 because the size of the single bed is a little bit smaller. Some of you may have even met Shubra in the Ultima Plus. We have this one here in the UK that we use for promotional purposes, so it has been around about in the UK. Then we have the Cascade, which is a 4-berth. We have the Beach, which is also a 4-berth, and then we have our largest vehicle, which is the River, and it's a 6-berth vehicle, and it's the same in Australia. So when we present the vehicles, we have these day and night images. So this is to help you understand where your customers will be sitting and the layouts of where they'll be seating. So the day layout shows how it's set up during the day, and then we've got the night, which shows when the beds are made up. So in this one in particular, you'll see that during the day, that back dining area then turns into a double bed in the evening time. The Ultima Plus is really similar, and you'll just see that there is now a single bed that is directly behind the driver's cabin. Now, we've got our great spec sheets, and the team at ANZCRO are wonderful at helping you to choose the correct model. You'll get questions like, I'm 6 foot tall, am I going to fit on the bed? We've got all of the specifications of the beds all there, all the internal heights. how many litres of fresh water I'm holding on board, all that kind of info. The team at ANZCRO have that all on hand, and they will be able to advise you straight away to answer any of those questions that your customers will be asking you. So the Cascade is a 4-berth vehicle. This one here has 2 double beds. So it has a dining area in the back, which makes up a double, and then it has a drop-down bed that comes down from the roof. And you'll see that in that middle image there, that you see that you've got those sort of double bunk beds in there. Really lovely about layout. I love this one because it's a low-profile vehicle, so it doesn't have the Luton Peak over the top. So even though it's a motorhome, it still kind of feels like you're driving a van. Then we have the Beach, which is a 4-berth motorhome. Now it has that big Luton Peak over the top, which means you have an enormous bed, 2 meters 10 on that bed above the driver's cabin. And then it has the double bed in the back. For seating for all the passengers, obviously you've got the 2 front seats, and then the other seats are directly behind the driver's cabin. And that's where we can fit baby seats and booster seats for your customers as well. Then the River, which is the 6-berth, so the largest one. So 2 double bed above the driver's cabin, double bed in the back, and then that dining area behind the driver's cabin also makes up a double bed as well. So largest one we have is the 6-berth motorhome. And as I mentioned, we provide everything that they would need. So all of their equipment, their pots and pans, their coffee plunger, their bedding, etc. So they just need to bring themselves along with them. Cool. I'm not going to go through all the fleet. We'll be here forever. There are so many vehicles to choose from. Essentially, the Apollo fleet do cross over with the Maui fleet. So the Euro Tourer is the Ultima, the Euro Plus is the Ultima Plus, the Quest is the Cascade, etc. So there's no difference in the layouts of those vehicles. It's just that the Apollo fleet is a little bit older, and so you'll find that there will be a little bit of a price difference on them. But yes, I'm not going to go through them all because there's a lot. It does mean that there is a vehicle and a model and a price point to suit every single customer that you will have. That's just a little show through. This is of the Ultima Plus, which you can see the gas cooker, the sink is in there, and you've got that lovely dining area in the back, which is cool. You've got your TV and your microwave there as well. And you'll see this is when it's made up into the bed, which is so lovely. I love this one because you can open the back doors. You can lie in bed, like look out at the sea. You've got your toilet and shower there. And then you've got that single bed that is there directly behind the driver's cabin. So this is the Ultima Plus, which looks really cozy. I want to jump in there actually. So yeah, toilet and shower in there, which is sort of a small wet room. People tend to use the facilities at the campsites because the campsites are so good. They often will use them there. And you've got the storage there underneath the seats. You can see that they are open up there. As I mentioned, we've got our spec sheets for you guys. The ANZCRO team have these on hand. We know what the customers are going to ask. So it has all the information that anyone will be requesting on what the vehicles are or what sort of facilities that they have, which is cool. Awesome. So I'm going to, leave it there. Just another sort of little mention would be on the what it's like to drive in Australia and New Zealand. So our countries are really young, which means that our roads are wide and our parking spaces are big. So driving in a motorhome is not like driving it here, where there's like cobbled one-way streets. We don't tend to have those sorts of things. So you'll find that you're the right to be cautious. That's the right thing to do, but they'll find after a couple of days it's very, very easy to be driving around in a vehicle of this size, which is cool. But do use the team at ANZCRO because they're expert. They are amazing in offering the right vehicle for your customer. You'll end up looking sort of at the floor plans and deciding as to which one is best for your customer. But they're great team. So thanks so much. I'll hand back to Shubra. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you so much for that, Deb. We did get a question. How safe are the top bunks for children? Are there any guardrails or age restrictions suggestions?
Yeah, so yep, super safe. We have on the top beds, we call them luggage nets, but they're very handy at keeping children in as well. So that they do come up and they hook over. So yes, you could absolutely put the kids in there. And we always talk about that top bed being big because it is. And so you think, oh, it'll be great for adults. But I can guarantee you, anyone who's got kids, you will not get a look in. The kids will always want to sleep up in that top bed. So which is brilliant. So it's really safe and it's a really good layer. I love this when I travel with my kids, is that I can put the kids up in the top bed. You put up the luggage net on there. You can close those curtains, and then they are up the top there, and you can still be outside. Or when you go to bed, you actually still have that space to move around and not disturb the kids. So yeah, they're super safe. The weight limit on it is something ridiculous, like 200 kilos or something there. So they are very, very safe up there. Yeah.
No, it's brilliant. No, that's superb. I mean, that really gives you an insight. And I've got to say, I've had two separate friends who have, one friend went on a Maui and travelled for 6 to 7 weeks in both Australia and New Zealand. And, you know, he is 6'2" and really spacious, no issues at all with that. And I think sometimes that can be quite deceiving, you know, even from imagery. But, you know, as Deb's mentioned, I've been fortunate to have been able to drive around the Maui, around the UK so far. I'm obviously working on Deb to be able to drive it out in Australia and New Zealand. And it's just so spacious. I mean, I'm 5'3", so easy to drive. You know, I can reach the pedals. Everybody's surprised I can reach those. It's just so easy to maneuver. I would say the only thing within the UK is, you know, we're just not geared up so much for the motorhomes with the mini roundabouts. But, you know, driving along the motorways is fantastic. And that's why Australia and New Zealand are just perfect locations for, you know, a motorhome, and it really gives that kind of sense of adventure and to be able to travel around. So definitely, I think it's more, sometimes obviously people tend to find out when they're doing their research on their own holidays to go on a motorhome holiday, but sometimes, you know, it needs that reassurance from you as a travel agent to be able to tell them that, you know, they'll have this independency, but also have this wonderful adventure, really kind of stopping and starting at their own pace. And I think that's what makes it, you know, a real kind of gem. I mean, it's definitely, you know, on my bucket list, because I just want to be able to have that freedom of being able to do it at my pace more than anything. So yeah, definitely kind of really kind of bear that in mind when you're talking to your customers about it, because as I say, I think sometimes people can look at it and they think, oh no, you know, I'll go and stay in B&Bs and, you know, drive. But I think a motorhome really, especially in New Zealand, those roads are so wide and that the landscape is so monumental that you really want to kind of capture it. So to be able to kind of stop, really see it with your own eyes, can really capture that imagination of traveling to such a wonderful destination. So back to the Kiwi sales. So we've been really fortunate to be supported by so many of our suppliers, and we've got some incredible kind of reductions. We've got, as Deb mentioned, you know, a 10% exclusive on the rate for a motorhome for this month. But to give you a little showcase, here is a little taster of what you'll find in New Zealand. that can be used. So when we do a follow-up with you, just let us know if you'd like a copy of the video and we can get that sent to you. It gives you a real kind of taster of what your customers can experience once they're out there. We also, if you go onto our website, we have a whole section on our Great Kiwi Sale, and you'll find all these sample itineraries that you can actually use on your own social media as well. So feel free to download and to be able to share to your customers within your own social media. So yeah. And again, we have all the different kind of incentives and discounts that we have. We obviously have the THL 10% discount. We also have Air New Zealand providing credit on their holidays. And for every booking that is made from you guys from now until the end of September, you'll also earn a £100 Amazon voucher. So once you've confirmed, just let our team know and they will drop us a line and we'll get that voucher to you. So a nice little kind of thank you booking bonus from us. And also for any content, we're really doing a push on a daily basis of the Kiwi sale. So ensure that you take a quick screenshot. And again, in our follow-up, we'll include the link to our Facebook group. But every single day, we are putting different sample itineraries, videos, just anything kind of related to New Zealand. So feel free at any point to kind of share with your customers. And really just a thank you from our part, you know, for giving up your time, for attending this. You know, I always say, you know, knowledge is power, and that's what it's all about. It's really getting a real understanding of what we offer, as well as, you know, our suppliers. And, you know, massive thank you to Deb for being here this morning to give you a real insight into motorhome holidays. So thank you for your time. As I mentioned, we will be sending a follow-up with a lot of the details that are on there. And yeah, thank you very much and have a wonderful Thursday.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.